Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something that is, for many, one of the most just agonizing parts of the fertility journey. Implantation failure. You know, you've done everything right, you have a viable embryo, the transfer goes smoothly, and then it just doesn't stick.
It's the biggest wall, really. The major limiting factor in reproductive success right now.
And the frustration is immense. So today our deep dive is going straight to the source. We're looking at some pretty incredible research on complementary approaches.
That's right. We're talking acupuncture and traditional herbal medicine. But our mission here is to get into the molecular engine room, so to speak.
So not just stress relief or general wellness, this is hard science.
Exactly. We're focusing on how these treatments target failure at the level of individual proteins, specifically two proteins called beta-head-1 and beta-3 integrins.
Integrins, okay.
Think of them as, well, a kind of specialized sticky glue on the surface of the uterine lining. If they aren't there in the right amount, and it's critical at the right time, implantation is almost impossible.
So before we jump into how to fix them, let's really set the scene. We always hear the uterine lining, the endometrium, described as a cozy bed for the embryo.
It is, but it's a bed with a very strict checkout time.
Right. It's not ready forever. There's this tiny window of opportunity.
A really narrow window. Scientists call it the implantation window, and it's non-negotiable. Typically days 20 to 24 of a cycle.
Just 4 days.
Just 4 days, and everything has to be perfectly synchronized in that time. The thickness, the hormones, and crucially, these sticky molecules.
Which brings us back to the beta-41 and beta-33 integrins. How do they actually work? What is their job, precisely?
Well, they have a few different jobs, really.
Yeah.
The first one is the most obvious, physical detachment. They're literally receptors that grab onto molecules in the embryo's surface. That's the first handshake.
The initial bond.
Exactly. But their second role is maybe even more complex. It's cellular signaling. They don't just stick. They send messages inside the uterine cell.
Like a doorbell.
A doorbell that tells the whole house to rearrange the furniture. They tell the cell to grow, to move, to change shape, all to accommodate the embryo. They're a communication link.
And the third role?
The third is their job as hormonal responders. And this is key for fertility. Their production, their activation. It's all controlled by progesterone. Progesterone is what flips the switch on the integrins to sticky mode.
So that means if there's any kind of hormonal hiccup, even a small one, like progesterone dipping too early or maybe being thrown off by fertility drugs?
The stickiness is immediately compromised.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When these integrins are low or mistimed, it leads to implantation failure. We see this all the time in, say, unexplained infertility or with conditions like adenomyosis.
And this isn't just a theory, right?
Not at all. It's fundamental biology. There's research in mice where if you genetically remove the ability to make beta-1 integrins, the embryos just can't attach at all.
Wow.
It proves this sticky glue mechanism is a basic requirement for mammals.
And when you realize that success or failure comes down to the timing of these tiny molecules, it completely changes how you think about treatment, doesn't it?
It does, which is a perfect pivot to acupuncture, because for a lot of people, acupuncture and fertility means, relaxation, maybe better blood flow.
Sure.
But this research is about something much more precise. It's about using acupuncture to normalize integrin levels, especially when they've been messed up by drugs.
This is where we really move beyond anecdote and into the data. Let's look at an animal study that mimicked the hormone environment of an IVF cycle. They looked at rats undergoing what's called controlled ovarian hyperstimulation, COH.
That's where they use high doses of hormones to get more eggs.
Right. And while it's great for getting eggs, it often wreaks havoc on the timing of the uterine lining.
So what did they find happened to the integrins during the COH process?
The drugs made the beta-3 integrin levels spike way too early.
Oh.
It basically slammed the implantation window shut before the embryo could even arrive.
But the acupuncture fixed that. It directly fixed the schedule. It lowered that early wrong spike, and then it boosted the levels later on, making sure the integrin peak happened right when the implantation window was supposed to be open.
That's an incredible level of precision for something like acupuncture. How did that translate into results?
Well, the retiming wasn't just about the integrins. It also improved other signs of readiness, like the formation of something called panopids.
Panopides.
They're like little cellular protrusions. Think of them as the final welcome mat coming out. And the bottom line, A huge jump in pregnancy rates in those rats. It went from about 43% in the drug-only group up to 64% in the group that also got acupuncture.
Wow, from 43 to 64%.
Yeah.
That's a massive difference just from fixing protein timing.
Such a profound difference.
So, okay, that's the animal model. Let's talk about people. What happens when we apply this in a human IVF trial?
There is a major randomized controlled trial with women aged 20 to 44, and it showed pretty much the same thing. Acupuncture raised the levels of both a beta-31 and beta-3-3 related integrins.
So more sticky glue.
More sticky glue right at that crucial implantation time. And this was linked to a thicker lining and better progesterone levels. Overall, the pregnancy rate went up from 47% to 55%.
Which is a solid improvement. But
Yeah.
the number that really stood out to me was for the women over 35. That difference was almost unbelievable.
You're absolutely right to highlight that. That was the aha moment. For women over 35 in that study, the pregnancy rates went from just 24%.
Which is very low.
Very discouraging. From 24% up to 49% with acupuncture.
It nearly doubled. Why? Why such a dramatic effect for that specific group?
The thinking is that acupuncture is particularly good at addressing the age-related hormonal instability that can throw off the timing. Younger women often have more robust cycles to begin with.
So for older women, it's not just adding stickiness, it's restoring the precision timing that starts to fade with age?
That's the idea, yes. It's enforcing the correct synchronization. And the mechanism seems to be even deeper, possibly activating other helpful signals like LIF or HBEGF.
So it's a multi-level repair job.
It really is.
Okay, let's switch gears to herbal medicine. We're talking about traditional Chinese herbal formulas, usually taken as these strong teas or decoctions. The old thinking was that they tunify the body.
Right. A very general concept.
But the new science is showing they're directly upregulating these same critical integrins, beta-OD1 and beta-3-3.
Yes, and the evidence is really compelling, especially for two very difficult clinical situations. The first is a thin endometrium.
Which is notoriously hard to treat with conventional medicine.
Extremely.
Yeah.
But in animal models, certain herbal formulas were shown to boost the main beta-3-3 integrin, alpha vita 3-3, at both the gene level and the protein level.
Wait, hold on. Boosted at the gene level, what does that actually mean?
It means the herbs aren't just, flipping on a switch for proteins that are already there.
They're telling the factory to build more.
Exactly. They're telling the uterine cells to actually build more of the sticky glue from scratch. It's a fundamental instruction.
Mm-hmm.
And the result was a thicker lining, more balanced hormones, and much better embryo sticking rates. It was restoring tissue that was considered damaged.
Incredible. And the second scenario you mentioned.
Luteal phase defect. That's where progesterone drops off too soon and cuts that implantation window short.
Right.
Other herbal formulas were tested in rats with this induced defect, and the herbs significantly improved the presence of both a beta-4-associated integrin and the beta-3-3 integrin.
And the result was, I assume, higher pregnancy rates again.
Of course. The herbs improved lining readiness, they regulated the hormone receptors, and they raised pregnancy rates. The thinking is that they work by modulating these master control pathways, things like HOXA10 or LIF.
HOXA10.
It's a transcription factor, a genetic master switch that directly tells the body to produce these integrins. The herbs seem to be fine-tuning that entire control panel.
So if we just take a step back for a moment, the big takeaway here for anyone listening is pretty clear. Both of these approaches, acupuncture and herbs, offer a measurable way to normalize these crucial beta-DUTA1 and beta-3 integrins.
They fix the timing and they increase the quantity.
Which is a game changer, especially in these really tough cases like with IVF stimulation or thin linings or, as we saw, age-related issues.
And, this isn't some new fad. People have been working on this for decades. This kind of thinking is really the life's work of pioneers like Mike Berkley.
He's an acupuncturist, FABORM.
And he understood this years ago. He knew that general support wasn't enough, that you needed to get specialized.
That led him to found the Berkley Center for Reproductive Wellness right in Midtown Manhattan back in 1997.
1997. And it was America's very first acupuncture clinic dedicated only to fertility.
A true trailblazer then.
He really was. And his dedication came from a very personal place. He and his wife went through infertility themselves. And it was acupuncture that helped them conceive. So that inspired him to become the first acupuncturist in the entire country to focus his practice exclusively on reproductive health.
It makes sense, then, that his clinic would have such a comprehensive approach. They're combining the acupuncture, the customized herbs, even things like low-level light therapy.
And this is so important. They collaborate with Western reproductive endocrinologists and IVF clinics. They see it as a team effort.
An integrative model.
A truly integrative model. They recognize that to optimize this molecular landscape, you need all the tools in the toolbox working together. Their work covers everything from advanced maternal age and poor egg quality to PCOS, endometriosis.
All the big challenges.
All of them. They are the real-world proof of the science we've been talking about today.
You know, this whole deep dive really changes the way you think about traditional fertility support. It's not just about feeling better anymore.
No, it's about measurable molecular synchronization.
And the potential impact is just enormous. I mean, I keep coming back to that human trial and the massive benefit for women over 35. It gives so much hope.
It really does. And it leaves me with a final thought for you, for everyone listening to consider.
Okay.
Given this really strong evidence that these complementary therapies can specifically adjust the timing and the amount of molecular sticky points, what could we achieve if Western medicine fully integrated that?
What do you mean?
Imagine if we could run a molecular diagnostic test.
Yeah.
One that tells you your specific issue is low expression of the beta-1 integrin, but your beta-33 is fine.
A precise diagnosis.
A precise molecular diagnosis. And then, what if we could prescribe a specific herbal formula or an acupuncture protocol that is scientifically known to regulate that exact pathway?
Yeah.
Imagine the level of personalized fertility care we could achieve then.